Thank you very much, D-Man. I am indeed joined by N-rated SK, now firmly in first place here as we dive into the rest of Super Week. Tell me a little bit about the game plan. You had Cyanide's number when it came to picks and bans.
Yeah, we kind of focused on Cyanide a bit, like the whole discussion was about the jungle. I feel like we wanted to get our comfort picks and it worked out really well.
I've got two questions about that. Do you feel the picks and bans worked at shutting down Cyanide? And secondarily, what is a perfect way to play your team composition, and did you play it that way?
It was not specifically to shut down Cyanide completely, just to get him out of his comfort zone. I feel like the picks have worked very well because we just managed to get the picks and give them the picks that we wanted to.
But then getting into the game, the early levels were kind of rough for you guys. Talk me through that and how you were able to grab it back.
Well, Leona and Pantheon is a pretty deadly comp. I think we have shown that and they have shown that as well. You just have to get over laning phase like as early as possible, and it just took us some time and we were struggling at the start, but at a certain point we just managed to pull ahead by having good rotations and just map pressure in total.
So in your mind, is the Karma and the Evelyn a good counter to that stun lock, engage kind of composition that Fnatic put together?
Well, I don't know if it's a counter, but everything that pressures can handle pressure. So Eve is a good pick.
A little bit in that early game as well, we saw that Svenskeren got a little bit behind by the rotations on Fnatic in that early game. Wicked put on his Facebook, he thinks that level 1s are very random now. Do you feel the same? Is that not something you can strategize against at all?
Since the changes to the Ward Trinket, I feel it's completely random. You might as well invade any buff you want at any time without knowing where the lanes start or whatsoever. It might actually be a gamble, because someone might stand there and be able to shut down your invade like they did, but it didn't shut us down at all. It didn't manage to let us fall behind or anything, and we were just even, and that's all we had to do.
So congratulations on the win. You guys actually had your playoff position locked in thanks to Super Hot Crew losing the game earlier today. Thanks to this win over Fnatic, you are now holding sole first place position at the top of the table. What does that mean to you and your team? And did you expect to be there at Super Week, considering how rough SK Gaming started the spring split?
Well, no one of us would have predicted it at the start, but after some time we started dreaming, obviously. I feel like as long as we give everything and we're trying our best here in Super Week, we managed to get first or second place.
Well, if you end first place after playoffs, that means you're going to All-Star, and we've also been asking the people who do you think should go for the other event, and Reckless is currently very firmly in first place. You played with him together as well. Do you think that he deserves that spot, or who do you kind of think are the picks?
He's really an extraordinary player, and I feel like he deserves it, definitely. And he gets a lot of love of the community, and he represents Europe very well.
All right, well, that are your thoughts. And we also checked in with the people at home what they thought. We asked them on Twitter, what 3 European LCS players will get your all-star vote and why? Here are some of the answers. The first one is from @Aqualters. Reckless, his skill as an ADC is unworldly. Froggen, his champion pool is so diverse and amazing. He controls the game.
I think they're good picks. I think you've highlighted some of the top tier players. The interesting thing to remember is one of those guys may not be going. I mean, depending on whoever finishes first in playoffs, may reduce the number of players that can actually make it to the event.
And the second one is from @AlexMike20129. I would vote for Candy Panda, Froggen, and Diamond because I want to see dominance and they can dominate their opponents. And rated Candy Panda, you think he deserves the shot?
Definitely. He's working hard, so he deserves to be there.
Who would your 3 players, other than N-rated, N-rated, and N-rated?
I would vote Candy Panda or Reckless for AD carry, Froggen mid lane, and probably Diamond jungle.
And then the last one is from @Kivisan. Reckless, Xpeke, Wicked. Reckless because get wrecked, Xpeke for the back doors, and Wicked because I want to see his Irelia at All-Star.
And a lot of people want to see his Irelia at the LCS, and it's not happening enough, I'm afraid. So I think there's good names. I'm not seeing any support votes yet, and I think you guys have to rate them a little higher because they have some pretty big game-changing impacts.
I would even say you have to N-rate them a little higher. Well, thank you very much, N-rated, and congratulations. And you guys at home, as always, thank you for your great responses. Remember to follow us @LOL Esports and use the hashtag LCS to join in on the conversation. As for it is time to take a quick break, and we'll be back in 3.5 with Millennium versus the Super Hot Crew. And this is the perfect